Day 2. This spot is really, really nice. Gotta say, I slept very well. I was woken up by the sound of the rain a couple times last night, but I wasn't complaining about that. It was actually quite peaceful. I do want to have a proper fire tonight, so over the course of the day I'm going to get some firewood for the evening's fire. I brought a hammock, pretty simple, basic, just for hanging out kind of hammock. It's not a proper camping hammock, but I did bring that to relax and lay down in and do some reading. I'm going to start off the day with a coffee, as usual. Just going to have a snack to go with it. Here we go. It's official. You can get the day started now. All right, so that job is done. Pretty well organized bit of firewood. I still got to get to work on these pieces, but I am just hungry, so all that wood processing and gathering took a good hour or so. I Googled the nearest store in the area where I can get some fresh food and supplies. I'm kind of tired of my dehydrated stuff, so I'm going to make a run out, pick up a couple items, see what they got, and get back here, cook up something tasty. See you guys when I'm back. Okay, so here's a look at what I picked up. Some staple items. Got some beer that I enjoyed, some red potatoes, some sausages, and some white beans and a tomato sauce. It's definitely time to enjoy a cold beer after all that hard work. All right, we should have water boiled here shortly. Yeah, I really like this table. Of course, I didn't create it all myself. Somebody did me the favor of bringing these boards out here to burn. And I'm just taking advantage of them because it's just too nice to have something so perfect and flat. So it's making life a lot easier out here. All right, those things are almost done, I would imagine. Next step, keep that fire going, start frying up a sausage. Okay. Let's get these guys right on there. So I just flipped those bad boys. That's how we're looking. Not too shabby. And now we have the addition of the egg. The final product, guys. It's definitely not looking gourmet, but we're camping. First bite. Well, I don't have to explain to you guys why I want to set up the hammock right here. Now I'm using my own ingenuity about this. I've never really done this with paracord. So the same way that I always hang my ridge line, I'm going to do the whole, use the loop, put a bite through the loop, and then I'm just going to connect one of my carabiners right to that loop. And that should be my first pretty solid anchor. And here I'm just going to keep it tight, do a couple wraps around the tree. Alright. I'm going to do another bite through a loop concept. Slip that into my carabiner. I know it's out of view for you guys, but all I did was create a bite through a loop, like a slip knot concept, like you would do in a trucker's hitch. And I just put that through my carabiner, and it's tied off. It's not going anywhere. All those wraps are pretty solid. Hell, I think that's working pretty good. Looks like we're doing just fine, guys. Further exploration of my area has led me to find this dilapidated old building. Interesting, I would say. A couple things I'd like to point out to you guys. One of them, as we scan the ground here, this is wild garlic. In German, we call it Bärlauch. But this is definitely Bärlauch, or sorry, wild garlic. Really easy way to tell. Take a piece off, rub it in your fingers, give it a smell, and it's definitely garlic. I am gonna pick some of this and add this to my next potato dish, more sausage and eggs, and enjoy some wild herbs in one of my upcoming meals. And as we wander about in the area that I was gathering all my firewood, sadly, you have a lot of man-made debris, some garbage scattered back here, but some very large herbivore died here before. Oh wow, as I look around, I'm seeing even more. So, actually, I wasn't really sure what that is in first inspection, but that is a tooth. This is some chunk of the jaw or skull, because that is a tooth right there for sure. And here is the real score. That is a very, very large, I think what you call mandible. Yeah, the lower jaw of what I could only guess to be a moose. Looking further back here, I noticed even more. Scanning through. Wow, okay, so there's more teeth there. More teeth there. Some really big teeth there on that chunk. It almost makes me think that people were just taking the carcasses of whatever animals they were butchering and just tossing them out here. It almost seems a little more logical than just 3 or 4 animals of different sizes just all dying in the same spot. Unless they all got poisoned or something. Who knows? This has been Jaybird thinking out loud and exploring the bush of Estonia. Alright guys, so went and sawed off a nice piece of stick. When I initially set up this shelter, it's so nice and tight that I was pretty happy with it, but after sleeping in there last night, my head is pretty much right here. And what we're going to do right now is give myself a little bit more space. And it's only going to be a few inches, but having just a few more inches between me and the actual wall of my shelter is actually going to be worth doing this job right now. Get my length of paracord through my tie-out point on the tarp. And my preferred method, the easiest way that I've figured out for myself, is just having some kind of pre-tied loop. Whatever you want to do, whatever works for you is fine, but a bowline is pretty favorable because it will never slip on you. It's super strong and it's very easy to untie should you want to. Pass your loop through your tie-out point, and all you do is pull your working end through that loop, and there you go. Okay, then from there, to prevent your line from sliding around on the stick, really easy hitch to tie is a clove hitch. There's a few different ways of doing it. You can make a loop, make another loop to where each end is kind of passing over the other, so whether you can see it or not, the loop from this one lays over, the loop from this one goes under, and I take that one and cross them over, and that creates the loop, the perfect little X pattern. Take that, slide that over the top. Once you dress it up nicely, each end is not going to go anywhere, and it snugs up very nicely on the top of it, and it won't slide up and down. For the sake of showing you guys the other way, why not? So you can just go around it again, but from underneath, ideally. Doesn't have to be, but it's a little easier that way. You go over, and basically you want to create an X. So if you can see that, this isn't the perfect up close and personal version of it, but I take that and I go under that, and bam, there's basically an X right there, and it's the same thing. I would say learn both, because there's situations where passing it over an object that's open isn't possible, and you're going to have to go around something that's just fixed, and there's no way to get around each end of it. Okay, so we got that, we got our stake. Now I would say, in my opinion, the best hitch at this point to make everything nice and secure is the Taught Line Hitch. Why? Because as things move around, as it rains and all this, things will likely slacken up. Paracord, when it gets wet, it tends to give a little slack. So with the Taught Line Hitch, I can tighten or loosen this guy line as I wish. and there we go. So get that tight enough. All right, now I got a little more headroom in my shelter. Cool. Little side project for the day is done, and I will definitely enjoy sleeping in there a little more tonight. So I've been wanting to explore this point over there since the moment I've got here. Just so much work to do. Haven't gotten around to it, but now that the sun is out, beautiful, beautiful. I gotta go over there and see what that's about, so let's go see what we got over there, huh? Well, it didn't take too long for me to get to the point where this is private property. I Google translated this word. Even without Google Translate, I would imagine it's kind of obvious. A sign like so. Probably don't go there unless you know what it says, right? But it does say private property. Good news is I looked at the map. This looking point out here is exactly that. There's a road around the back way that I can take to get there. And judging on where my campsite is to where that point is, it's not too far of a walk. So I think that's what I'm gonna do right now.
We don't worry about seas. We recycle and sort by source. We've banned all plastic straws, quit smoking. Oh, every paycheck we get, 10% is donated to clean our conscience, and it works out great. Woo-hoo. Why should we change? Sleep less, be more efficient. Come on, perform better, climb higher, educate away. I am all my degrees, my masters. Hey, look at me, I am somebody.
So sadly, last evening, I made the decision not to go out and capture the incredible sunset that was taking place before my eyes. Mostly because I just wanted to enjoy it. And sometimes you're compelled to do the YouTube thing or the photographer thing, and you forget to really just enjoy it. Really just take it in with your own eyes and put the memory in your brain as opposed to a memory card. But here we are. It's not as spectacular yet, but I can see it coming. This view behind me, what's taking place, is going to be gorgeous. I can see it already. Truly beautiful.